Welcome back. We have Ginny Maurer with A Cruise Planners here to discuss travel insurance and many other things. So the questions that we have right now, I see travel insurance offered through booking companies like Hopper. Should I use them or should I get a policy from a travel agent?
So I think, there are definitely differences in all the policies. And that's when, we were talking about looking at what is covered. So yes, some of them are great, but you want to make sure that it covers the things that you want covered and that are important to you. I do find that most of the ones offered through the suppliers directly are just covering cancellation before your trip begins.
All right,
So
so read
again,
the fine print.
look and see what's important to you.
Okay. This person says, I'm traveling with a minor with a disability. Do you have any suggestions or recommendations to making it easier?
So yes, so there are all kinds of, depending on what type of travel you're doing, whether it's booked or not, and what type of disability. So there are all kinds of different things out there that we can help with. But again, it's such a general question. We'd have to really kind of know the specifics on that, but lots of options.
Everything, I'm sure, from being able to maybe transport them in a chair so that they don't have to walk so far, maybe, or putting them in a
Exactly,
different
yeah.
space if it's too much sensory overload.
Exactly. And there are different resorts and different locations too that, we can recommend that maybe will cater to that specific disability.
Okay. This person's asking, if I had travel insurance, can I file a claim at the airline and through insurance for baggage delays?
So you can definitely file with both. The insurance company is going to ask for supporting documentation from the airline as to whether they are going to pay it or not. So if the airline's paying it, the insurance company is not going to pay it. So you can't double dip there.
Right, but I'm wondering if people feel better covering their bases, claiming it on both, and that doesn't hurt you to do that.
Oh, no, it absolutely does
Okay.
not hurt. And I actually recommend claim everything.
Okay. Next question is, what are some pre-existing conditions for travel insurance?
So pre-existing conditions would generally be health related. So I'm going to use a perfect example that happened to me. My father was diagnosed with cancer. So I had to purchase the insurance before final payment for it to cover travel insurance and what did end up happening is he had a change in his condition and I needed to cancel my trip. But because I had purchased it prior to the final payment, it was covered because cancer was considered pre-existing.
Okay. This is a question about Medicare Advantage plans. Do they cover health issues outside the country?
So I know that each policy is a little bit different. I always recommend to check with your insurance directly, but my understanding is that Medicare Advantage does, but Medicare itself does not.
All right, yeah, definitely call and ask and make sure you ask all of the specific questions. I'm going here, what does it cover, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, this person's saying, what if I didn't get the insurance and I'm about to fly out tonight? One person has an emergency and I can't go, and can I get their money back?
If it is someone that you're traveling with, then yes, absolutely. And that's one of the advantages of a good policy. A good policy will not only cover you, but it will for cancellation, but it will cover for any traveling companions, whether they are in your family or not.
Okay, but they're flying out tonight, so does that mean they can still get the insurance? Can they
Oh,
call
can
a
they
travel?
get the insurance?
Yeah.
No, because if the other person can't go, then it's already happened. So again, it's kind of like car insurance. You can't go get in an accident and then call and get car insurance.
Okay. But there are some travel insurance that you can do like right before your flight, but I'm guessing it has some stipulations on it only covers you kind of thing?
Correct.
Okay. This person's asking, are airlines still offering the same flight flexibility as we saw during COVID?
No, they are not. And neither are hotels and neither are cruise lines and resorts. And that's all the more reason to get insurance. I think we all kind of got used to that flexibility, and the flexibility just does not exist now. So we have to be prepared on the other end.
All right, and let's see, this question says, does travel insurance cover concierge services?
Yes, it does. A good policy will have a concierge that you can immediately call. They will help you find additional flights. They will help you find a doctor if you need a doctor. So yes.
Okay, this is all about cruises, so it's definitely up your alley. What if something happens during a cruise? Will travel insurance cover me if I need to be airlifted off the cruise ship?
Yes, it will. Not all, again, not all policies, but a good policy absolutely will cover you up to $1 million is one that I recommend is covers airlifting to up to $1 million. The other thing that's interesting is if you get injured or you need to be airlifted out, is it also covers the amount of the trip that you lost.
Okay, now do cruises have their own like health medical insurance?
They do, but again, most of those are some of those policies that I say we need to look at carefully because the coverage is very, very limited. And generally, that is not medical, that is just cancellation, and it would maybe be a credit instead of a refund.